Physics in Bucharest on Monday commemorated 42 years since the devastating earthquake of 1977 through a series of events aimed at raising awareness of the risk of another major earthquake in Romania. According to experts, the safest buildings in Bucharest are those built between 1963 and 1989, as well as those built after 2000. On March 4th, 1977, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake, the most serious to hit Romania, killed 1,570 people, mostly in Bucharest, causing $2 billion worth of damages. About 230,000 households and other buildings were destroyed or severely damaged. The earthquake marked the beginning of a social-economic crisis that the communist regime was unable to overcome until its demise in 1989. Experts warn that in case of a similar earthquake, hundreds of buildings could collapse in Bucharest alone. One of the priorities of the Romanian presidency of the Council of the EU is to develop the Union's social dimension by implementing the European Pillar of Social Rights, said Monday the Romanian Minister of Labour and Social Justice, Marius Budai, at the informal meeting of the Social Protection Committee. The event underway in Bucharest is being attended by as many as 90 EU experts. And that was the news from Bucharest, Radio Romania International.
Thousands of Romanians have taken to the streets to demand an independent justice system. I'm Eugen Nasta with this report by Corina Cristea. Thousands of people again took to the streets in Romania on Sunday evening to show their solidarity with the magistrates who say Emergency Order No. 7, recently adopted by the government, hinders their activity. In Bucharest and other cities around the country, such as Sibiu, Cluj, Constanța, Iași, Timișoara and Galați, protesters demanded the resignation of the Justice Minister Tudorel Toader, the repeal of the order and the dismantling of the Special Department for Investigating Magistrates. A rally was held in Bucharest and the actors of the National Theatre staged the protest on the stairs of the theatre. The government said it had no intention to give up the order that has sparked massive protests among magistrates. Last week, however, Tudorel Toader said that he drafted an emergency order that would repeal a number of provisions contained in the previous order. The document was presented to Prime Minister Viorica Dăncilă and submitted to the Superior Council of Magistrates. According to the president of this body, Livia Savona, the provisions in question refer to reassignments and the prerequisite of a good reputation. The street protests come as magistrates from prosecutors' offices and courts around the country voiced their dissatisfaction, including by stopping working. The anti-governmental protests also targeted another emergency order, known as number 114, one that was mentioned by the European Commission in its 6-month country report as a risk factor threatening the normal running of the financial sector. The Social Democratic Party, the main force in the ruling coalition, has admitted that changes can be made to this order as long as the main objectives are retained, namely for the population and businesses to benefit from loans at lower interest rates. Meanwhile, the representatives of the Finance Ministry are having talks with those of the Romanian Association of Banks to analyze the need for changes to this order in respect of a number of fiscal measures. The representatives of the Association of Building Entrepreneurs have submitted amendments to the order ahead of its being discussed by the Chamber of Deputies. They say that the order contains some good provisions for the construction sector, but also measures that should be modified. In turn, representatives of local gas companies have warned that implementing the order would have a negative impact on both investors in the sector and the state budget.
post-election uncertainty persists in the neighboring Republic of Moldova. I'm Elena Enache with more on this topic in a report by Bogdan Matei. Moldova's Central Election Committee has approved the final results of the February 24 parliamentary elections and has announced the number of seats that parties will have in Chișinău's new parliament. President Igor Dodon's pro-Russian socialists have secured 35 of the total 101 MP seats. The senior partner in the self-professed pro-Western government, the leftist Democratic Party, led by the controversial oligarch Vladimir Plahotniuc, has got 30 seats, and the Acum bloc, an electoral cartel of the pro-European right wing, got some 26 seats. 7 seats went to the populist party led by the pro-Russian mayor of the town of Orhei in the center, Ilan Shor, who was sentenced to 7 years and 6 months in prison in a billion-dollar bank fraud case. 3 independent candidates will also become MPs. The former single party in the Soviet era, the Communist Party, will no longer be represented in Parliament for the first time, and nor will important for the post-election stages to unfold in a responsible and democratic manner, with the observance of the democratic principles needed for the country's stability and for the preservation of a European perspective. Because this, Bucharest has also said, it is the only perspective able to meet the Moldovan citizens' legitimate expectations of prosperity. And that has been our newscast.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Radio Romania International's English programs. Here are some of the highlights of our weekly broadcasting schedule. On Mondays, we broadcast a history show, a program that takes you on a foray into the rich history of the Romanian people from its beginnings to more recent times. You will learn about the events that shaped the Romanian nation, not only from historians, but also people who witnessed some of the events. If it's Tuesday, we take a look at Romania, its people and places from a different perspective in Inside Romania. On Wednesday, Society Today provides an in-depth analysis of some of the most important social issues facing Romania today and features interviews with sociologists and experts as well as members of the public. Traveler's Guide, our weekly tourism program, goes out on Thursdays and takes listeners to all corners of Romania for an exploration of the country's landmark tourist sites, as well as some of its hidden treasures, from rural, eco-friendly holidays to adventure travel and exclusive getaways. The world we live in is full of challenges, from migration to climate change, the economic crisis and international terrorism. All of these issues come under scrutiny in The Future Starts Today, on Friday. Stay tuned to Radio International during weekends for the latest from the world of Romanian arts and culture, including reports from ongoing festivals and events, as well as interviews with artists, writers and critics in Saturday's World of Culture. We also extend you an invitation to try out Romanian recipes in The Cooking Show. On Sunday,